Hello and welcome to an Atlas sand mining facility. If you are involved in an incident, near hit, chemical spill, property damage, or an injury requiring first aid or greater care while on site, you shall report it to your contact before leaving the property.
Sorry for the entrance, buddy, but I gotta say I haven't heard anything more boring in my entire life. So, why don't you go on and get? No. Well, let me introduce myself. Name's Doc, and I'm gonna take over the safety instructions from here on out. Now, I know what you're thinking. Safety videos. Aren't those the most boring things in this entire world? You're right. So why are you sitting in front of this one right now? Because, buddy, you're getting paid for it. So just bear with me for the next 10 minutes or so, and I promise I'll make it worth your while. Might even learn something in the process. Let's get started. Now, if y'all have got some visitors on site, make sure they check into the main office first. When on site, you should always be wearing a hard hat, safety glasses, vest, and steel-toe boots. At this point, y'all should probably already know that. And don't go trying to snake around these here rules, because you know what? Let me show you what would happen if you do. This here is Jerry, and he thought it was a good idea to show up to work without any clothes on. Without his high-vis vest, this handsome driver doesn't notice Jerry. And because Jerry is obviously new, he doesn't know he ain't dressed properly. Jerry, why, buddy? Come on. What's the matter with you? Get your suntan on? Come on, Jerry. Poor Jerry. Didn't even stand a chance. But what we can learn from this is to look out for each other, especially if someone's new on site. Make sure everyone knows what gear they should be wearing and at what times. When more than 6 feet off the ground, use fall prevention. Jerry, this is why we can't be drinking alcohol on a mine site. Hearing protection, face shields, welding helmets, and coats and gloves may be required at certain times. Maybe even a life vest if you're working near the water. Make sure to stay highly vigilant around the dredge. That boat requires electricity, and electricity and water don't react too well to humans. We don't need people soup in there being cooked up, you hear me? Also, make sure no jewelry is on your person. Any loose clothing must be tucked in, and long hair must be stuffed into your hard hat. If, however, an accident does occur, first aid equipment and AED are found at these locations. Got it? Great. Now on to our next item of business. Mobile equipment safety. Now you remember the rule on that, right? 3 points of contact whenever you're entering or exiting a vehicle. And don't go trying no acrobatics, right? Jerry, no! Well, this is gonna be a hell of a report. I don't even know what to tell them. Customers' trucks are making constant loops through the facility. Atlas ain't in control of these pieces of equipment, but we'll keep an eye on them to ensure no poor behavior goes unnoticed. Make sure you make eye contact with the drivers. Seeing people from a driver's seat can be difficult, so use hand signals when necessary. Oh, Jerry, come on, let's see. Stay on. Oh, jeez, Jerry. Easily preventable accidents that actually happen.
Doc, you don't mean to tell us these accidents actually happened?
You shut your yap, all right? Who's the one running these safety protocols? Don't.
Also, be sure to do pre-trip inspections on all equipment before leaving. You must have wheel chocks before y'all head out. Place them under the tires with the parking brake set every time the vehicle is parked and unattended. Situational awareness is crucial when working around these big boys. Remember, this equipment gets the right of way, no matter how much of a hurry y'all are in. Also, don't operate any mobile equipment capable of reaching the overhead power lines within 20 linear feet on either side of the lines. Side note, there are a lot of chemicals stored on site, some of which are flammable. So don't be smoking except in designated areas, especially not near the fueling stations or in the maintenance shop.
Now remember, when you're using a fire extinguisher, pull the pin, aim that nozzle at the base of fire, squeeze the handle, and sweep side to side.
The maintenance shop has all your needs like gasoline, diesel, and oils. If you need an SDS, reach out to your contact for assistance. Be cautious of the signs posted around the facility too. They warn of hazards specific to their area. Confined spaces are marked, and you're not allowed in there without a permit from Atlas. Alright, next item of business. Berms and guardrails will be provided on the banks of roadways where a drop-off exists. They're meant to save your life and keep the equipment in one piece. They should be at least mid-axle height of the largest self-propelled mobile equipment that travels the roadway. That's it? That's all I gotta cover for berms and guardrails? Yeah, buddy. I guess now would be a good time to go over some other safety hazards. This is Texas, and the weather's a bitch sometimes. So in case of temperature extremes, make sure you come prepared. Always stay hydrated. High winds around here can also be a hazard, so watch out for them. You remember our little incident with Jerry earlier?
Whatever. All right. Come on, Jerry.
Let's look at that situation again and see what Jerry should have done. Take cones of barricades to block access to work areas you don't want disturbed. The speed limit within the site is 15 miles per hour. This ain't the Daytona 500 and you're not getting a cut. When you're working or driving around safe racks, kiosks, or silos, you must wear your high-vis safety vest or outer garment. Time for our final item of business, machine guarding. Guarding is put into place to keep people from being sucked into the machines. Conveyors, motors, pumps, and all the equipment used in mineral processing are very powerful. You do not want to end up like spaghetti in one of these machines. If your task requires you to defeat a guard, the machine must be locked and tagged. Verify all stored power has been de-energized before you start working on the equipment. A quick warning as well, stay out of the motor control centers. Unless you're an electrician or authorized by Atlas, you got no business being in there. Also, just avoid the nuclear density gauge unless you're qualified to be servicing it.
Jerry, what'd you do?
If an emergency does occur, meet at the emergency assembly point just south of the main office. And remember, do not use the big roll-up doors for your own leisure. They're for machines only, so just use the doors designed for you. You got all that? Good. Now, our time has come to a close, and before we officially wrap up this safety review, let me tell you something real quick. Come in close. Come on, man. Why do you think it is that Atlas goes through all this trouble just to keep y'all safe? Well, there's lots of reasons, but the biggest one right now, those little ones you have back at home. You see, they're the reason we have safety, because if something happens to you, it happens to them. Now, one of the best ways to show your love for them is by keeping yourself safe and following these protocols. Well, that's all we got for you today. My name's Doc, and it was my pleasure to give you Atlas Sand's safety guidelines. So until next time, yeah, buddy. Oh, maintenance will take care of that. That's fine.